Kiki Classic Rock.
Hey guys, Kiki here. If you are new to my channel, welcome. What I like to do is talk about anything and everything, classic rock, pop, all of that totally fun stuff that we love and we remember. And you know, kind of a unique thing about Al and myself is that we have a radio station. I know, it's kind of crazy. And it's called, coincidentally, Kiki.fm. It's right there. You can go ahead and download the app on your iPhone or your Android. Listen to it 24/7. It's so fun, and literally we are playing the best classic rock music anywhere. And as you can tell by my t-shirt, I'm also an an early MTV-aholic. So I like to go back and I like to talk about all of the bands that we know and love. If you like that type of thing, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the like button, and of course, the little tiny notification ding-dong bell, because you know why? That ding-dong bell lets you know every single time I upload a brand new video or go live. So today I'm doing something a little bit special, and I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of little bit special things of this thing. Do you get it? I don't. We definitely know that we like Journey today, how Journey is today. But I said, you know what? So many things have evolved in the band Journey. I want to kind of take a step back in time and see what people used to write about Journey. So again, I got a whole bunch of these things coming up. I have not looked at these magazines prior to this video. You're going to see me open the magazine. You're going to see me read the article to all of you during whatever time. I have a whole stack of these things that I've ordered. So I picked one out and I said, I don't know I do not know what is in this package. So you are finding out together with me, and let's see what year we're going back to talk about Journey. Who was in the band and how and why and all of that fun stuff. Because we love Journey. We just love Journey. Okay, here's my package. And it's kind of thick. Again, I have a whole stack of these things now, and if you like this, hopefully you do, please make sure you like it. Let us know in the comments down below if you want me to do more of these things, but I'm going to because I have a bunch. Let's go ahead and let's see which magazine this is. Again, I do not know. I do not know. I have them in a pile, and I'm just going to open them with you. Oh, this is a nice one. I think I know which one this one is. Let's see. Yep. Oh my gosh. So this is, oh yes, honey. Oh yes, honey. And they packaged it very, very nicely. There was a piece of cardboard inside, but this is actually commemorating Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury, 1946 to 1991, real life or just fantasy. Yeah. Classic rock magazine. Is this even still a thing anymore? I don't know. Love Freddie Mercury though, I will tell you that. So I got this magazine because I know Journey is inside of it. We'll leave that right there. Wow. All right, let's see when this is actually from. So someone paid $2.99 for this, and probably, I'm just being honest, I think today this magazine would probably go for $15 to $20 on a newsstand. They don't even have newsstands anymore. So in a supermarket or a store thing. Yeah. When is this from? Okay, so this is issue 34 from December 2001. So very interesting. All right, now let's see what Journey is. Oh, Glenn Hughes is in here. Yes. Cover story. Okay, the cover story, but we're not going to talk about Freddie Mercury today. We're going to talk about Journey, but the cover story is about exactly a decade on from his untimely death. Classic rock takes an extensive look at the life and times of Freddie Mercury, rock's greatest showman. Also a look back at all the Queen albums and what the future holds. All right, cool. But we're going to page 39, which the article is called Face Off, Journey. Yeah, and it says, oh, eyeball to eyeball with Jonathan Cain, longtime keyboard player, and Steve Augeri, their new singer. See, this is fun. This is so fun. All right, so let's see what they have to say about their new singer, Steve Augeri. Shush up. Okay, let's go to page 39. Whew, I'm already getting excited. I love it. I love it. All right, who's that? Oh, it's Glenn Hughes. Shush up. Look at Glenn. Sorry, but we got to. Can you see Glenn? Can you see him? Look at Glenn. He still looks so dang good, we have to say. A week in the life of Glenn Hughes. That's interesting. Okay, so we're getting closer. Page 37. I'm gonna turn it. Oh, so there's Steve in his red leather pants. Now this picture is kind of blurry, even though it's in a magazine. And there's Deen Castronovo with his very pencil thin mustache. I'm gonna show you in a second. Neil doesn't even look like Neil. This picture's very strange. I'm just saying, Jonathan has black leather pants on. Shush up right now, I can't. And Ross Valerie is there just being Ross. Cute Ross. Okay, so I'm gonna show you again. I hope you guys can really get a clear picture, but this picture really isn't clear. It's kind of blurry, right? For being in a magazine? I mean, I'm trying here. I really am. I'm hoping you can see it. Can you? I'm getting closer. I'm doing that. Okay. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'll take a picture and then I'll insert it right here. Okay guys, we're gonna read this article and see, it's pretty long. It's lengthy. Oh, and then, and then there's an article about Steve Jerry. I didn't even know that was it. This is so fun. Okay, ready? We're gonna read it. Can I see? No. Oh my gosh, this writing is so small. Stop it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it says face off with Journey. Times have been hard recently for the once platinum selling AOR giant's new singer. Jonathan Cain looks back, forward and sideways. I just feel like forward and sideways. And the tour guide is Dave Ling. Okay. And this article, it doesn't even tell me who wrote it. Did Dave Ling write it? I don't know. Let's see if I can. Oh, and there's Steve again. I can't. Okay. All right, ready? Here we go. I can't see. Anyway, so bad. The latter part of the last century spelled troubled times for many rock acts, even for a band of the stature of American AOR torch bearers. Journey. They're still torch bearers. We're the torch bearers for Journey, actually. With their once platinum record sales dwindling, stop it. Like, this better be a good article. It seemed that singer Steve Perry's reluctance to tour or even record would end up costing the group their livelihood. Journey's penultimate album, 1996's Trial by Fire, was considered by many to be too ballad-oriented and proved to be a problematic record to make. And then Perry kept the group waiting around to tour before finally using an injury to his hip as an excuse for not participating in the band's first spell on the road in years. Perry left Journey under a cloud of acrimony. Lawyers' letters trickle back and forth even now. Well, not now, today, because today's 2022. This is 2001. So see what they were writing about Journey then? Why is that one hair doing that? Reluctantly, Journey had to face the possibility of life without Perry, bringing former Tall Stories Taiketo singer Steve Jerry into the band. Hi, Steve. Welcome aboard. And it was something that they had been planning for some time, but the jury appears to be still out on the new look band, which also replaced Steve Smith with ex-Bad English drummer Deen Castronovo, who is freaking amazing. We love Deen. Hi, Deen. Hi. So this is when times were changing for Journey. Quite interesting to go back. 21 years? Is my math correct on that? I'm terrible at math. I'm not even kidding. If 21 years is right, then that was good on my part for a change. And I'm just saying. Guitarist Neil Sean, keyboard guitar player Jonathan Cain, and bassist Ross Valerie had vowed to return to their rock roots when they released Journey's Arrival album earlier this year. But obstacles stood in their way. The leaking of tracks onto the internet before the album's release prompted the furious group to repackage the album with extra tracks added for the European market, but at least its slightly rockier feel the second time around was widely regarded as an improvement on the original. And I'm guessing this is when the whole streaming thing was coming into play. Yeah, I remember hearing about things leaking onto the internet, which was still fairly new at this point. Kinda, sorta, not really, but kinda. Yeah. Kind of, because that's when I started eBay. I started selling there in 1998. And I know I've brought this up many, many times, but that's when we used to plug the phone jack into the wall, and I would have the dial-up thing would go, and it would take me 3 hours to list one thing. Right. Elsewhere, it still looks distinctly unlikely that Journey will play their first UK shows since 1978 anytime soon, although the group remain such love staples of the US summer concert circuit. I can't see. I'm just letting you know that. Did I say that? I did. Classic Rock spoke to Journey's Jonathan Cain, who replaced Greg Raleigh in Journey exactly 20 years ago for the seminal Escape album, and also cornered New Boy. He's a new boy. Did he like being called that? Steve or Jerry, see page 40. We're gonna see that in a minute. To find out why the band are claiming that the 80s are back and why Journey stubbornly refuses to die. Well, why would they do that? Wow, yeah, okay. So the question is, are you pleased, and I guess this is being asked to Jonathan, are you pleased with the reaction to Arrival? So far, so good, I guess, but we'd like to have seen a bit more excitement at radio here in the States, but radio's in the doldrums right now. No, I like radio. For bands like us, it's pretty tough. We've fallen into a black hole. You have to be Britney Spears, NSYNC, Stained, or one of those young bands, and that's kind of disheartening. But our fans are showing up at the shows, and at least that's the main thing. So even in 2001, they still had everybody showing up at their shows. Why wouldn't you? It's Journey. Hello. Love Journey. What were the US reviews of Arrival like? Fairly favorable, at least the ones that actually reviewed it were. But we didn't even get coverage in People or any of the trades. Rolling Stone Online gave us a nice review, but we weren't taken too seriously. There's still a lot of resistance to the Perry fallout. Basically, you have got to take your medicine when you make changes like this. I mean, I guess what they're saying there is that they kind of knew there was going to be some backlash when Steve Perry left and they had to replace him. And Steve Augeri went through quite a bit being the replacement for the beloved Steve Perry. However, Steve's so awesome. I mean, we all love Steve. That should be a TV show. Everybody loves Steve. Parentheses Augeri, right? Why not? It's an idea. Do you still see Journey as a band that's going to be around for the long haul? That's it, and I kind of expected it all along. We figure we should just make the best music we know how to make and take Journey where it should head. We held hands with the record company, and now we realize we probably should have just made the album we wanted to make. Absolutely, but they're doing that now. There was so much goofing around with them, and we were always doing what they wanted. At the 11th hour, we decided it was time to do what we wanted, so we put some rock and roll on there. They had us doing all these ballads, and there was so much music on the album. Despite Neil Sean's declaration in issue 16 of Classic Rock that Arrival would feature 6 rockers and 6 ballads, and that it would be a move away from Trial by Fire, it still turned out to be softer than we'd hoped. The record company had hopes that if there was a ballad on it, then radio might take it to the top over here. But we've yet to see any move towards that. So you think, geez, maybe we should have made a rock and roll record. Which is what I feel. I have no idea. I don't have any insider information, but I kind of feel like that's what they're going to be releasing to us this summer. Do you guys feel it too? I feel it. Any way you want it. I do. Aren't those the type of promises that Journey always makes but rarely seem to keep these days? Oh my gosh, like what is happening here? Well, Take the Ballads Away and Arrival is probably one of our tougher sounding albums. Songs like Higher Place, love that song. Stop It. Like to me, that should be played in every single football stadium during football season. I love that song. I love it. All the Things I Love About You and World Go Wild are all about as hard as Journey has rocked in a long time. You have to look at each individual track and it rocks hard. We'd never have done anything like Nothing Comes Close to Your Kiss with Perry. No way! Exclamation point. Said that correctly. Do you think Sony would have preferred you to submit an entire album of ballads? Probably not. They know the fans are pretty sophisticated. They want the ballads as well as the rock. That's true, but more rock is better. I'm just kind of saying. But there are not many ballads that even attempt to do what we do, and in the end, we are playing like Higher Place, To Be Alive Again, World Gone Wild, I Got a Reason, and Kiss Me Softly on stage, and they're different. They add to what we already have. There are probably too many songs on the album, but the fans get their money's worth. I'm just saying, like fans get their money's worth now, seeing a Journey show. It's so good. I've said that like 1,025,000 times, but I'm just saying. I just said that recently too. I said you totally get your money's worth at a current Journey show. Like no question. You just leave there happy. Happy Journey high. Journey happy high. It's good. How well has Arrival sold? We're over 200,000 copies now. I don't know what they're at today in 2020, 21 years later. I have no idea. Again, this is just off the cuff reading Journey in a magazine from 2001. Kind of crazy. Journey used to sell millions of each album. Is the label happy with 200,000? I really don't know what the label thinks. You know, here's the thing, right? It was a shift. It was a transition. The band made a change. I mean, it was what it was at that point, and they were still bringing fans to the shows. I say that's a win. And they were still selling records. Still a win. Major change here. Just saying. You don't get too much feedback. We don't hear too much from them. They say they're doing all they can, and all we can do is, like I said earlier, deal with the fallout. Oh, I want to give them a hug. The core fans have got the album, but that number has dwindled. We've lost a lot of interest, but that's only natural because people get on with their lives and do other things as they get older. That's why we're touring, to increase that number, and we're bringing a lot of fans back.
Bingo!
Are they ever today? Some of them are bringing their kids with them, and they're finding out that it's a lot of fun to come to a Journey show, and 21 years later it's still fun to go to a Journey show. And you can bring your kids and your grandkids. See, like our generation, like my generation would be bringing grandkids, right? My kids are taller than me and like almost as old as me. Well, they can't be almost as old as me because then that would be weird. You get what I'm saying. Are you optimistic you'll turn things around? Right now it's like the stock market. Stock market is crazy right now. It's hanging by a thread. We have to be realistic. We made an album for artistic purposes and also to finally define who Journey is. We also didn't want to be just a catalog band. Hopefully Arrival defines who we are and who Steve or Jerry is as a singer, so we go from there. We're selling the CDs at our concerts for the first time and seeing some pretty nice sales. In fact, we're probably moving more product than they do in the record stores. That's cool. When did you first realize that there was a problem with Arrival being on Napster, an MP3 format? Napster. Oh my god. That was those were crazy times. All the lawsuits, they got shut down. When we got home from the recording sessions for the album in New York, it was bad timing because we'd been working our butts off away from our families for 3 months. We'd no sooner finished mastering the CD than I guess somebody sent out a promo disc. How did that happen? You do have to think about how did that happen, you know? And that was a downfall for all of these artists that we know and love. I mean, they couldn't make any money because everything was being leaked on the internet. Now, granted, they're not making the same kind of money that they were making with record sales back in the day. However, there's so many other opportunities for artists to make money online. You've got YouTube, of course you've got touring, and still selling merch at the shows. And you know people are buying it because you see them doing it. Any idea who the guilty party was? Oh, let's read on, shall we? We think it happened from somebody at Sony in Sweden. Sweden, no! Either they were ecstatic about what they heard or it was their way of playing Robin Hood. We just had to grin and bear it. So the solution was to add some extra rockier tracks to the album. Yeah, Neil got into reading our web chat and he realized they wanted more rock. We were going to leave To Be Alive again off the album and they all went nuts at him. So we listened to what they said and put it back on and we're glad we did. How do you feel about that Napster incident now? Well, Napster certainly took a bite out of our sales. It's disheartening. You work so hard and Sony spends all that money. I totally commend Lars Ulrich and Metallica for speaking out about it. To me, it's completely wrong. Yeah, there was that whole Metallica. I think, are they the ones that filed that huge lawsuit against Napster? And I think they're the ones that got them taken down. Do not quote me on that piece of information I just said. I'm just kind of going off what was in my mind. And there's a lot in there. Yes. Do you think the MP3 phenomenon has any saving graces whatsoever? For the music lover, it's a dream come true. It serves the consumer very well, but the intellectual, artistic part of it has been shoved aside. All of a sudden, you become background music. Oh, that's sad. Can I give him a hug again? I need to give him another hug. Young bands must learn that you don't give your music away on the internet. There's nothing cool about it. They're screwing themselves and the rest of us for the future by being so desperate to get played and saying, hey, here's a free track. They're jeopardizing themselves and their families for the next 20 years. I'd like some Napster users to work for 2 weeks, then get nothing for it and see whether they're happy. If these bands keep on doing it, they're gonna botch it up for all of us. But perhaps there's also a certain amount of karma to all of this. The record companies could certainly lower the price of CDs and become a lot more competitive. Our CD costs nearly $20 in the shops, but we buy them ourselves now to sell at the shows, and we know they cost less than $2 to make, including the artwork. The retail is maybe $9. So somebody's making a lot of money. Is that not crazy? And they're the talent. Here's the thing. They're the talent. They're the ones bringing the people to the shows. They're the ones that are selling the music because we love them. And my gosh, there were a lot of times these bands really got a bite taken out of their ankles. Like really, it's so not right. Did you pay for the extra tracks and the alterations to the sleeve yourselves? It came out of our pockets. Sony said we could alter the cover because the fans thought it was boring. Ultimately, the internet has been great because the feedback about the new band has been very positive. It also has a lot of pluses. Next question. Net Rumor suggested that even the band didn't get finished tapes of the album's 2 new songs for fear of them being pirated again. No, that's not true. Everything was worked out with our producer, Kevin Shirley. Neil tells a story about stopping his car on the freeway the first time he heard Steve Augeri singing with Tall Stories on the radio. When were you first aware of Steve? This is gonna be good. I was actually with Neil. We heard it together. He likes to leave me out of that story. Neil looked at me and said, if Steve Perry ever gives us any trouble. This is so funny. This guy sounds like he could do the job. I had his CD at my house because we used to play Wild on the Run. It was one of my party songs. Cool. It's been said that Augeri's biggest selling point is that he's a full-on Perry clone. How do you feel about that? He's definitely more of a rock and roll blues singer, but they're apples and oranges. Steve Perry has one of the best voices in the business, but Augeri's got his own thing going on, especially with those red leather pants. Good. Look good. Do the hardcore Journey fans care that Steve Perry isn't there anymore, or do they think they now regard Journey as a different band? Good question. I think they'd like the best of both worlds and that they've accepted it, but to say they don't care is awfully flippant. You're very flippant. My gosh, my mother said that word to me, flippant. Not that I was ever flippant. Remember that word, flippant? Some said they love it, and some said, see you later. You're always gonna have two sides of the fence though, even today. Even today we still hear people saying, I'm not gonna listen because Steve Perry's not there. He hasn't been there in a long time. Just throwing that out there. Are you resigned to the fact that you'll never get the doubters back? No, flat out no. A lot of them have already returned. All you can do is your best and hope that people notice. Just to be able to tour in the States and do the kind of business we're doing is phenomenal. In some places, people in the audience are holding up signs saying, Steve Perry? Who? They don't even think about the other guy. And with Deen Castronovo, drummer, it said, we've got a new engine. A new engine, he called him an engine. I love that. Even John Waite said, now, oh my God, see as I read, all these things are just coming. Even John Waite said, you guys really rock. And he was never a huge Journey fan. Shush the front flippant door. Boy, that was a power packed answer. I love it. Another John Waite thing. It's interesting that Waite opened for Journey in the US this summer. Hooray! Wasn't there some acrimony between you and him after the demise of the Bay Bears? And it says, sighs deeply. I don't think that'll ever be all under the bridge. There's still some tension, but we all had dinner last night. Oh my gosh, would I have loved to have been that fly on that wall. John seems a bit more chummy with Neil, with whom he was in bad English, than he does with me. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm reading this. I think he's mad because I get royalties from the babies and he doesn't. I really don't know. I know that Chrysalis took his publishing. But it's great to have John and Peter Frampton out with us because it's the Teabag tour. Everything's English. All we need is some sausage sandwiches. I cannot right now. I love sausage. I do. It's gonna be good sausage though. Like it cannot be crummy sausage. We've even seen quite a few Brits over here for the summer shows and some from Ireland and France, so there's definitely still a European interest. And that's with all the shows, right? I mean, we've got people today traveling from all over the world to see Journey. So even, oh my gosh, even then, I love it. Speaking of which, last July, Neil told us that Journey were working on playing some shows in the UK, something like Donington, then come back and play a smaller place, he said, before adding, but not too effing small. Like I can't say that word because that's not ladylike at all, even though I am known to say that word occasionally. That was very flippant of me, wasn't it? And it says laughing in parentheses. Yeah, that sounds like Neil, but the problem is that our record company over there isn't really too supportive of us yet, and we need a little help from them. They tell us that they've already spent the budget, so we will come over when we have the opportunity, but it's a situation we're still working on. Couldn't you have attempted to get onto a festival bill? We've got to come over and play on our own first. People have to see what we're about. You can't just jump onto a festival unless you've got some clout.
Please!
Journey has clout. Journey has a lot of clout. Come on. We're hoping that Sony will help us make a Journey visit possible. Despite Neil Sean's comments, couldn't you just swallow your pride and play smaller venues? They don't need to, like ever. It's tough. Journey has a big sound. We don't really sound that great in a smaller place. Right, they're a big band. Not a big band like like not like that type of big band. They're a big showman band. We're not some tight little rock combo. We have a wall of sound that needs space. Wall of sound, you think of Phil Spector. You get Journey in a club and it doesn't sound like Journey. Although we prefer playing 3,000 seaters, we have gone as low as 2,000, but we're not a club band. No, they're not. Nope. Our current production is extraordinarily high tech. We've got video screens and really cool lighting concepts. They'll probably never see a show like that in Europe. I mean, the show today is redonkulous with the video screens and the close-ups of the guys is, oh my God, it's so great. I mean, really, whoever, I'm guessing it's Neil, but whoever put this together for this tour, this Freedom Tour in 2022, amazing, truly. Before you announced that Steve Augeri was joining Journey, you spent some time working with vocalist Jeff Tate of Queensryche. Did you ever seriously consider him coming on board? Never heard that. Well, here we go. We wrote with Jeff for a couple of days and we were interested in checking him out because I knew Queensryche. We actually wrote a song that's going to be on his solo album, but Steve Augeri was our first serious guy. Neil and I had been writing with different people, but with Steve we knew there was a possibility that it could work.
Hey!
And it did. Obviously, there's a lot of bad blood when Perry kept Journey waiting around to tour, trial by fire, and then decided not to. Has that been smoothed over? Let's see. Good question. You know, geez, I haven't talked to him. We spoke 3 years ago. I have really nothing to say on that. So clearly it wasn't smoothed over at that particular point. Could Perry have prevented Journey from proceeding without him? He could have made it really difficult, but he chose not to. He showed a lot of class by letting us go on, but there are benefits involved. He's making money while still sitting at home. I want to do that. I would love to do that, but not really, because I would be bored. However, we're talking about Journey here, so I don't think he's bored. I don't think Steve Perry's bored, just saying. Although the band's VH1 Behind the Music special hasn't yet been aired in the UK, it raised a few important issues. Yeah, the big one came in the last 5 minutes when Steve said, "I never felt like a member of this band." We all went, "What?"
Really?
And I remember, I've read that over the years that Steve did say that. It's crazy. But there had to be a reason why he felt that way. Those behind the music shows can be pretty hard on the artist, but they're guaranteed to sell a lot of records for those artists. Yeah, that's true. We knew that we needed a launching pad for the album, and it was a good way to do it. Is it a case of never say never with regards to working with Steve Perry again at any point? Now, this is in 2001. Let's see what he says. And then in parentheses, it says, exhales for a couple of seconds. So let's do it. Ready? All right, that was 5 seconds. I don't know. He told me that the door's closed, so I guess that's pretty much it. There's no going back with Steve. His last words to me were, "This door is closing on you and I," and that's where we left it. I know him, and he's very proud in that regard, and he wishes that we weren't doing this. So with that being said, with that piece being said, I mean, at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony in 2017, it seemed like everybody was good, you know? But I really hope after all of these years that everything is good between the guys. You know, you don't want to see it go down like that. I mean, a lot has happened between then, 2001, and now, and everybody's moved on. Everybody's older. Everybody has got their foothold in life, and it's a really good one. So hopefully hopefully everything is good. And, Steve Perry saying in 2001 that the door was closed. Maybe that's why he hasn't done anything with the guys. He said it, and he's making that come to fruition, obviously. Despite the lineup changes over the years, Journey continues to be regarded as something akin to messiahs in melodic rock circles. What are your views on that scene? Interesting. Messiahs. They're my gods. Really, for sure. It's a fashion, and fashions come and they go. Melody is back in fashion again. Cuffs are in, then cuffs are out. Laughs. You have to do what you do. We're like tailors. We make petticoats. Did they make petticoats? Stop it. Were those for sale at the merch table? I don't know. We couldn't be Pearl Jam because this is what we do. I write love songs and play in a rock band, and that's it. Journey has always been a band with a heart and a melody. I suppose we've become the alternative, but there are still a lot of fans out there who need us. And boy, is that still true today. Is that still true? Oh my gosh, I love that. See? Big circle, big music circle, circle sandwich. This is the last one, by the way, while Journey fans are definitely clinging to the music, how do you respond to the claim that a lot of what's on offer is hopelessly interchangeable? I know what you're saying. The kind of music definitely has had a kind of pattern. Everybody was copying us during the 80s. All these bands like Survivor, Toto,
Nice.
who they're touring with right now, how crazy, and 38 Special all took bits and pieces of our stuff. We saw what was going down, but people always jump on trends. Interesting. Ricky Martin says he loves us. Living la vida loca. A guy in 98 Degrees loves us too, so maybe now it's cool to come out of the closet and admit to digging Journey. I've always admitted I dig Journey. I've not been in the closet, so I don't know. I guess I've always been out of the closet, with regards to Journey anyway. For a while there, it was best not to say anything, but the 80s are back and we've got staunch supporters who want to see Journey carry on. A lot of them come backstage and thank us each night. When you hear stuff like that, you know you're headed in the right direction. Oh my gosh. So, very, very interesting article from 2001. Let us know what you think down below. And you know what? I'm going to turn the page and bring you what they had to say about Mr. Steve Augeri. Guys, remember to be kind to everyone, stay strong in these crazy times, and always remember, most importantly, to turn Journey up, because we love them. The 80s are always going to be back. They're always going to be here, and inside here. And always remember to just keep rocking.